When?
I don't know. Can they hear us now? Yeah, they can hear us. I don't know.
When are
I don't
you
know.
going to learn?
So, okay, this is kind of the tone. Oh. Okay. I didn't want to start this way, but it's kind of the tone of this Q&A. I'm so done.
They're still saying they can't hear us.
So, they can. The
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah,
maybe.
it hasn't caught up yet.
Still hasn't.
Hasn't caught up yet.
Okay.
Give it a minute. Let's see. Let me know when you can hear us.
They still can't hear us.
Can you hear this clap?
Oh, yeah, much better.
They can hear us now?
Now, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The 20 seconds finally got there.
Mm-hmm.
That goes back to the I'm so done point. And I know you are too, and we'll get into it. And we don't want this to turn into a big...
Bitch fest?
Yeah, I guess that's the word to use. Mm-hmm. But you know what? We run things differently on YouTube than a lot of people do.
I swear.
And I guess I don't...
And he doesn't silence his phone.
I don't silence my phone the right way.
No,
he
turns it on to volume, and then we can hear... Yep. We can hear the vibrate, and it's like, okay, that's still not silent, right?
Right. Yeah, and it's
I want to start things off actually on a good note first, right?
Oh, good.
We've had
That's a good idea.
couple more births this week. Actually, it was kind of a crazy. Since the last time we saw them.
Q&A.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're gonna do that all night.
I was just wondering. I'll just be quiet. You know what? I'll just go to the bathroom.
Okay. So we've had a couple births since the last Q&A last week, and it was like the crazy 4 moms in 12 hours, and Amy giving birth right after splashdown babies happened, and sleeping in the barn for a few nights, and yeah, so it's been an interesting week, and I think we're all tired. I know you guys are probably tired too. Nobody really sleeps well during kidding season around here, except for Stella. Stella sleeps fine. So she's still sleeping. Thank you, Chris West. That was very nice. She did a $100 super chat.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
Now hit the button.
I don't know what button that is.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Hold on, let's see if I can figure it out.
It's under brand.
Okay, so it's here. Oh, hold on. Look at me learning.
I just lost my job. I don't even need to be here.
Right? I'm pretty sure I could do this.
I'm sorry.
Oh, wait, hold on. And that. Look at me pushing buttons. Oh, all right. So we're all here. We're going to go into some Q&A. All right, let's start by saying if you're new here, right, we do exactly what Vesna did, and we throw a question mark at the beginning of your question, a red one.
Come back.
So that we can see your question, and then throw another one at the end again so we can see your question. But we're not taking questions right now. We are going to just kind of talk about some of the announcements that we've got going on here. Some things that we would like to talk about before we start taking some questions. And with over 400 people here, chat is going to be going by a little fast.
And we'll slow it down if we have to.
Yeah, well, nobody likes slow chat, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you ask your question and we don't get to it, we want to make sure that we answer everybody's question in full and not rush through.
But we can't guarantee we're going to answer every question.
No.
We've got little kids downstairs that want to go to the barn with us tonight.
Right.
We might do family time in the barn, so we might kill the cameras for a minute while the kids are out there because we have the right to do that. And we might just do it. I don't know. It's up to the kids, really. I don't know what they want to do or what you want to do.
Yeah.
But my point is we can't go like 3 hours.
Oh, Miss B did another super chat.
Yeah. So
thank you so much, Miss B.
Thank you very much.
So yeah, so that's kind of the plan. But we try to get to every question for those new people that are here. And if you can't find the question mark in red, just throw an emoji in the front and at the end.
Yeah.
And that helps us pick it out of the
and like
the screen up here.
Right.
The screen up here in this center area.
Oh yeah,
they can see the yellow line, I think,
bit,
right there. That monitor is the monitor that shows us the chats, so we have to look over there to see them.
Oh, Granny
We'll
Bob
try.
says you're looking sexy with your rough beard.
Oh, I don't know about
Do you want
that.
to explain the rough beard,
All right,
why
so-
it's there?
So we're in the middle of kidding season, and I
Yeah.
asked you the other day. I
Yeah.
said, "Hey, I'm sitting here like this is getting too long. I hate it. It's starting to like I could like chew on the hairs over
Which
there.
is disgusting.
I hate that." And I go, I'm starting to get a little superstitious. Like kidding season's going well,
Yeah,
and I haven't shaved. And she goes, "You can't shave till the end."
I know. Well, I have my
And
lucky
I'm like-
socks that I have to wear to the barn every time. Mom had it, it's getting close. And so I have my lucky socks, and Angie's got her purple hair. Like, these are things that we do every season. And like last year, Angie didn't have purple hair, and I didn't have lucky socks, and kidding season was a nightmare.
And I probably shaved in the
You
middle of kidding
probably
season.
did.
I wonder if I made that video where I shaved four
the
different.
Fu Manchu.
I had like the Fu Manchu one going on, and it didn't even say anything.
right. Just
That's a
throughout the
great.
video.
I wonder if Tina remembers that video.
It
I
was
don't
in
know.
one of the Simon
It
Says
was.
Saturdays.
It was a Simon Saturday, and I don't think the word like facial hair or anything. It'd be so hard
No.
to find.
Yeah.
But it was hilarious. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Speaking of hilarious, today's video was hilarious.
Oh, the run, don't walk.
Yes, the run don't walk video. That
Yeah.
was funny. But
See, now
yes,
everybody's gonna have purple hair during kidding season because
next year.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the purple thing.
it's gonna be a purple theme
Yeah.
because purple is kind of like our thing on the farm.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Kinda. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so before we get started, I do want to thank everybody for being here tonight. And there's a lot of new people here, which is amazing. We love the growth that happens during kidding season each year. With that comes some people who don't really know us and how we operate things and how we have built this community of villagers. You guys are villagers now if you're here. There's no like payment program for that. You just are villagers. Go ahead.
That's what I was going to say. Somebody asked the other day, a question came in through the website, said, do I have to pay to be a villager? And the answer is no. Everybody, if you're here, if you watch our content, you're considered part of the village.
Right.
You watching our content helps. Obviously, people that are in the membership program helps. People on Patreon helps, but you don't have to be. You're still part of the community that we call the village.
Right.
No matter what level you're at. So nobody's left out. So we had to respond to that person. No, it's free to be a part of it. It's just a term that we use.
Right.
That was it. That's also what I was saying.
Right. So everybody's a
Yeah.
villager here. And whenever you join a new community, right, just, I guess, because we live stream our barn and there's other people who live stream their barns, there's certain rules that every live chat has. Our live chat is not unique. We have our own rules, but we do really pride ourselves in having one of the nicest chats. Like, we don't put up with drama. We don't put up with people who come in and just spew negativity, brings everybody down. We have a community full of people who support each other, come in to chat day in and day out, good days, bad days, ugly days, awesome days, right? And we celebrate and we uplift on those days whenever you need it, right? So now during kidding season, we have a lot of new people coming in who aren't really aware of this. This is first and foremost, this is our house. We invite you into our barn. This barn used to be like my
Happy place.
my happy place, and I'm sharing it with everybody.
Which, just so we all know, yes, we chose that, but it's not easy.
No.
We
Oh,
actually have a best friend of ours literally just asked at dinner
last night.
last
or 2
night.
nights ago.
Do you ever get sick of having to be in and out of that chat all day long, which by the way, we lurk all the time.
Right.
And on top of building the store and on top of shipping packages and on top of making the soap and the lotion, now you can't even go to your own barn without a couple hundred people following you.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, yes, it does get tiring. There are days where I do wish it wasn't on. However, I'm grateful we get to do what we love to do every day. And it's getting close to being able to support the family where I don't have to go back to the corporate world. And we are YouTubers and our kids think we're cool. and all that kind of
There's
stuff.
a little bit of
There's,
street credit that
there's
we
a
have
little
with our
street
kids
cred
now.
there. So that's great, but he's right. Like there's
It
that.
takes a toll.
Yeah.
But when we started live streaming our barn 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And that first year, it was definitely an adjustment, let's say, for me. It started off, well, I mean, it's always been great, right? But I had to make a transition from this was my barn, my happy place, to I now have to watch what I say and what I do, and
Yep.
I can't bend over towards like when I'm facing the camera because that would be inappropriate. Cussing is something we don't do in the barn,
Or we
which is
try
really
not to.
hard to do when Amy steps on your toe and breaks it.
Yeah.
So, we try to stay educational and family friendly at the same time. And that was an adjustment in the first year. Now I look at it more like we've had so many emails and so many private messages from people who are like, this channel has saved my life. And I still remember the first private message or email, it was an email that I got from somebody who literally said, I was in a dark place last night and your camera saved my life.
Yep.
And I have chills saying that.
And that's not the only one we've got.
No, that was just it. The first one always like hits you the hardest because that was the moment of realization that I was like, this camera's bigger than me, and I need to get my head out of my own ass and put my feelings aside because what we're doing here helps people.
Right.
And because we've now lived with you guys for 3 years, or actually you've lived with us.
Yeah.
We have extended family all over the world now.
Right.
And our kids have a support system, and we have a support system for when the shit hits our fan. And I feel like I'm completely uncensored tonight.
You are. Just go for it. Remember,
it's after hours.
You could.
I know.
It goes back to the YouTube education side. I spend hours and hours and hours in YouTube education world. I've spent thousands of dollars flying to conferences in LA to go to YouTube education. And one of the things they say between the recorded content and the live content, when you're live, it's your house. You make the rules.
Yeah.
The chat doesn't make the rules. The moderators don't make the rules. It's like YouTube makes the rules as into like how to go live and how not to.
Yeah.
But you can block as many people as you want.
Right.
You can set age restrictions. You can set, like, you could swear all you want. Like, it's your house when you go live. And think of it like you're hosting a party at your house. And if there's behavior happening in your living room that you told people is unacceptable, like, guys, we're not playing beer pong on my dining room table, like, stop, but they're like, you control that. So and that's where
the story I just told you about how I got that email, she's in the house tonight. Emma Casely's here. And I think it's important, and I commend her for raising her hand and saying, I think that might have been me she was talking about, because it's something that throughout this 3-year journey of being live on YouTube, we have never put, we've always put mental health on the table. It's a subject we talk about, and we talk about it openly for new people.
That's where the name Village came from.
Right. Well, because when our son struggled with his own mental health and pretty much live on YouTube, he was on the way to the hospital in an ambulance because he called the police on himself. And I kind of unloaded in the barn.
I was in Michigan.
Yeah, thinking the cameras were muted and they weren't.
And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like,
what is going on?
The camera's not muted. She's like, what the fuck? I'm like, I can't mute it remotely from way out there from Michigan. And I'm like, oh my God, that all just went down live.
Yeah.
And in the end,
real life.
It was like, you know what? If they don't like it, don't watch.
I think that's real life. And there's so many people who struggle, and they don't have to struggle alone because we are all struggling, especially now during this, year-long journey of COVID. Yeah. I think it's really important that we talk about it.
And for those of you guys that don't know the story far enough, there's a whole playlist on this channel called Mental Health. And you could almost watch 6-7 videos and you'll get the story. He was
He
13?
was 12 or 13.
12 or 13, spent a couple weeks at the hospital. And in the hospital, the kids in the hospital for mental health are not allowed to have cell phones,
Right.
tablets. They're basically not allowed to have access to the outside world on purpose.
He wasn't even allowed to have a window.
A window, they're right. But we would sneak in the cell phone and watch together. Like if it was our son and me, and we would look, and
Evening chores. Or AM chores.
We would tell the village, hey
Jake's
guys, Jake's watching.
Yeah.
And the village would blow up with Purple Hearts. So
which is where the color purple
comes from. So then after his time in the hospital and he came home, the first thing he did, other than smacking his head on his brother's forehead when they crashed,
and welcoming Stella home
and meeting Stella, he went straight to the barn and talked to YouTube
and thanked them
because that's what got him through. That's where we were like, this is the village. It takes a village to raise a child, like that whole saying. And that's where it came from. So that's kind of why we call everybody the village. But that's why we're talking about this is our house, because it's different. No disrespect. I've talked to other YouTubers and the big ones, the AAPs of the world and the help me out, the zoo. CM, who is it? Can you help me?
What?
No. Yeah.
She
was lost.
I was. So hold on, because there's a little issue. We just cat lady prepper 23 meow.
Oh.
Her caps lock is stuck on, and we have a no caps rule because it can inadvertently come out like yelling.
Right.
And it's so hard to communicate with so many different people with so many different personalities, and you can't hear tone of voice, you can't see body language. There's a big disconnect in communication, so we all have to whisper. We all have to not use our yelling voices, which can be caps. I know that we do have some people who have seeing issues, like they can't see the keyboard unless the if you hit,
I think it's Control and the up plus button, Control plus or Control minus. Control plus or Control minus will
make everything bigger.
Will shrink and will make your screen either bigger or smaller. That's how we see chat from way over here, because it's at 150% the size it should be, so we can read.
So as long as because I know I'm sorry, I forget her name, Cat Lady
Meow something Prepper. Meow Prepper.
I think if she's having technical difficulties, we should let her talk until she figures this out.
Just say sorry and then request it. Right. But
can you just keep scrolling?
Oh yeah, you're not live.
I like to be live in my chat.
Yeah, your chat's live, mine's not.
Yeah.
So
this has been like a 20-minute rant now,
That's
right?
Fine. Keep going.
It all comes down to we need to practice our patience.
By the way, it was CMZ. Remember, I got stuck on CMZ. I was talking about the big streaming animal channels, the huge ones.
Yep.
That are black and white at night, no audio, and are a business first.
Yeah.
We're a business because we need to be now.
Well, now we
I got laid off, right? So we're turning our hobby into a business, but we were always a family first, a family vlogger. We vlog everything, if you haven't noticed, on the other channel. Yeah. Like kids' birthdays, vacations, stuff like that, plus a live. So that's where I was trying to say we're a little different than the other guys.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. So go.
With that said, and this is where I don't want anybody to take offense, but it has to be said. We're an educational channel. We started this channel in the hopes of educating people who were looking to get into goats. And, we had no idea there were so many people out there who were just interested in watching them watching the process and watching the, how we run our farm. But here y'all are, right? So, and we love having everybody here. I think my biggest kind of my motto for the last couple of days is I don't mind the questions, right? I love the questions. I love that people are interested in learning about goats and have an interest, because I think it's important. If there's like one kid out there who watches our channel and is like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this when I grow up. Like, oh my God, I won, right? The issue is when we are being questioned. So asking questions is one thing, right? But when I feel like people are coming in who are questioning our every move, that's when I have an issue. And that's when this starts to become not so fun, because we've spent the last 7 years plus building this farm from the ground up. And we've made our own mistakes, and we've done our trials and errors, and we've learned a lot. And don't get me wrong, we still have a lot to learn. We're always learning.
We're always learning. Yeah, we don't know everything.
No.
And some people in chat might know something we don't know, but there's a way to bring that up.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's, to accuse us that, our goats are being neglected, or to accuse us that, Grace is lonely, or the babies should be getting exercise outside and the moms should be getting exercise outside. Those are,
well, if you're saying,
unfortunately, those are ignorant comments.
I was going to say, if you're saying those statements, you obviously have only been watching for about a week. And didn't even take the time to watch any of our 1,000 videos. And yes, I did think we broke 1,000 videos.
Oh, and Candy.
And not only Candy, there was another one I just didn't get to them yet.
It?
Yeah, I just didn't get it. I didn't want to interrupt you.
Sorry.
We'll give one big thank you for all of them. But yeah, that's where you showed up on a live cam. You see the goat. Whoa, why is that goat in a little pen? Why can't it walk? Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. The moderators are amazing. I guarantee you they answered that question. Oh, these are temporary pens. They're pregnant.
Yeah.
Once they have their babies, all the babies get together in 2 weeks. They run around and play on little slides. I know for a fact our moderators drop that. And you still say, oh, I can't watch. This is ridiculous. Blah, blah, blah. Google the word goats seized in Connecticut and look at a farm that looks like shit. This is not a farm that looks like shit.
We literally just had a goat farm here in Connecticut that had
65 goats.
Yeah, 65 goats seized from their property.
Neglect everything.
Those are neglected goats.
Yes, the hooves weren't trimmed, no water, the building was falling down. It was gross. You don't want to watch it, but yeah, it just happened 2 days ago. So that's a farm that doesn't take care of their animals.
Yeah, and it hits me hard because this is my life. Right. And for somebody to come in and say this is terrible, blah, 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 that's just, I have thick skin, much thicker skin than I had 3 years ago.
Oh yeah, you do.
But I'm still mama bear when somebody comes out, for my animals, my passion, my kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the buck stops. So that's why Grace's cam got turned off.
Yeah, not because we're using it now. We turned it off because a few people couldn't handle it.
It's I still have eyes on Grace. I have, we have cameras all over the property. Nothing really goes down here without us knowing about it. Right. So I'll keep an eye on Grace for right now. Just to settle down some of the people who are just questioning every little thing we do.
Right.
Because it's starting to take a toll, and it's not fun for me right now.
It's been taking a toll for you for 3 or 4 days now, and I said just kill all the cams. Let's go back to baby monitors. I don't care.
Yeah, no, I know. I cannot. This is where I have a struggle between, taking care of what I need and then putting other people first. There are so many other people out there. Look, 100%. there's 500 and 600 people here.
Right, but there's got to be at least 3 or 4 of them that are.
Oh, I'm sure we have some thumbs down. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's so many more people.
Right.
Who are amazing.
Yep.
And the channel is better because they're here.
Yep.
Than the few.
Yep.
Who we're reacting to, and I'm not going to punish the majority because of the minority.
Understood.
Okay.
It's just always an option. That's what I'm saying. The option is always there to say, you know what, I need a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's why I said when the kids go out, we ask Quinn and Olivia, they want to go, or at least Olivia does. We don't know if Quinn wants to.
Libby wanted to go out and see.
Right.
Yeah.
Go out and do the barn.
So JS loves giraffes. Just ignore the down people, right? You know what? 360 days out of the year, I can do that.
So you got to understand, right? Exactly. 365 days out of the year, you can do that because we get haters every day. Multiple every day. It's just there's always that 1 or 2 that oh, did you really just say that?
So it's not and where I was going with this, it's 360 days a year. And I know there's 365 days a
Right.
year.
I see what you mean.
But there's 5 days out of the year where I'm just a bit too tired
Yeah.
because of kidding season.
Right.
And my
Man.
problem is that it changes the whole atmosphere of chat.
Right. Correct.
And so that's like, if we start listing like things that nobody's allowed to mess with,
Yeah.
it's my kids,
Yeah.
you know, like my family, you obviously.
Oh, I was gonna say I didn't think I'd make the list.
Shut up.
I mean, especially with this hairy face.
My kids, my family, my animals, and my chat.
No.
Sorry,
Your kids,
but-
your family, your animals, your chat. What else was there? What else did you say? Oh, me. I forgot.
I said the kids,
yeah.
the family, like.
Yeah, there's one other. Your ability to take care of your animals. So that's not your animal.
Well,
That's-
that is.
Yeah.
It is when the people start coming after my animals, like, you know,
Right. I
or
get it.
me because they are like my animals, whatever.
Right. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like those are my top 3. Like you don't come after my family, my kids. You don't come after my animals, and you don't come after my chat.
Yeah.
And my moderators are like on the
Yeah.
top of like
So-
chat. So that's where
Right.
I get my mama bear claws out. Is, you know, I get a little defensive.
Yeah. So when Vicky just said something over there that hit me. She said, "Well, then don't read chat, LOL." Right? And yes, but that would disconnect us from our community. And I think what makes this channel stronger
Yeah.
is the fact that the owners are in chat a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and we pay attention to the mood in chat. And that's important to us. That came up at my YouTube conference when I was out there. People didn't understand, how do you moderate chat 24 hours a day? Well, amazing moderators. That's step number 1. Not only amazing, but geographically placed on purpose all around the world.
Or lifestyle, because
Or
we
lifestyle,
got
right.
some night owls and we have some early morning. They're both on the East Coast,
Right,
but they night
There's-
owl and early riser,
right.
and then that overlaps with, you know, UK
And plus, part of our job, you spend hours in chat, you know, to
hop
be
in and
part
just-
of the community. So I get it. I know creators that don't read a single comment because they don't want to go anywhere near the hate ones. And YouTube is actually doing a lot of updates over the last couple weeks to stream out, to like delete out automatically hateful speech, at least in comments, not in live chat. That's a little different.
Yeah.
But
so it goes back to like, there's a reason that when people come to our chat, they're like, "Oh my God, it's so nice in here."
it's a lot of
because
work.
we don't put up with the shit.
We don't. We probably think
And
we're up
that
to,
takes a lot of effort on so many people's parts.
Yeah.
We set the tone. We
Yeah.
picked moderators that would match, would be our message, you know, and say, "No, this is how it's going to be done. You don't get to talk like that. You don't get to, you know, there's no bullying. There's a 0 tolerance for bullying. You're going to bully,
Right.
you're out.
You're
It's
out.
done."
And that goes back to the saying I've always said, where it's quality over quantity.
Right.
Of course, I want the channel to grow. Someday we'll all be sitting here. There'll be a YouTube play button on the wall. That's 100,000 followers. That's going to
Okay.
take a
I'm
long
going to
time.
be 85 years old.
Well, okay, maybe not that old, but
That
it better not take that long. But it'll happen. But my point is, I don't care if I have to block 10,000 people on the way there. You know what I mean? Hell, we're already at 2,000 or 3,000 blocked already. You know,
easily.
So we don't. Yeah, it's a one strike you're out kind of thing. I remember
Well,
that
for certain
one day.
things.
Remember that one day we had all hands on deck.
There's
It
like
was-
7 or 8 of us in there.
From a moderator standpoint, we blocked like 300 people in one day. 'cause
Well,
the
okay.
flock came in.
YouTube was having an issue with a
Yeah.
bunch of bots too, so
Right.
that doesn't count. But
Yeah.
yes, the kids over in like the UK were out of school that day, and they
The
all,
kids, they
all
all.
the whole middle school and high school showed up or something. It was
I was in there
crazy.
just zapping them. They dropped some of them weird words that are like, "Oh, goats look tasty." Doom, gone.
Done.
Like
Over.
no questions asked. Like, yep.
Yeah.
But that's like.
Yeah.
And then I know other live chats that are like live guys that are like, I've never blocked a single person ever. Like I just let it go.
So, and that's where I
And I'm
think
like,
we
Can't
take
do that.
we take pride over our community that we're growing. We're not just a YouTube channel, we're a community.
Right.
And
Correct.
I'm sorry, but Nobody likes to be in a community with a bunch of bullies. That's not enjoyable.
Yeah.
So that's
Here you
not
go.
what we're building here.
It's all caps, and I'm going to put it up there.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's funny.
All right. So with that said, thank you so much for like sticking with us for the last 32 minutes of ranting.
Yeah.
I think it was just an important message to get across. And a lot of you didn't need to hear it. But there are some people who just needed to hear it. We welcome your questions. Just stop questioning us. Stop questioning our practice.
And I saw it earlier. It swung by on the chat here. Don't disrespect the moderators.
Yeah, that's
Whatever they say, it was pretty much approved by Liz.
Yeah.
You know, like if they say something and you don't like the way it was worded, well, that means you didn't like the way Liz said it and she said it. You know, so, and that's just
the analogy, and somebody didn't like how it was written. The analogy about like, this is our house, and you wouldn't go into somebody else's house and critique them on like what they made for dinner or the temperature they kept their house at or the color of their couch.
Like, oh, that couch is ugly. Oh, it's cold in here.
Like that would be rude. And I'm not saying that people asking questions is rude.
No, not at all.
It goes back to, well, why doesn't Erin do this? And why doesn't Liz do that? And she should do this. No. If I wanted to do that, I would do that.
Right.
If I thought that would help, I would do that.
Yeah.
You know, and the whole idea that like Grace is lonely and things are weird with Grace. It's like, what is Grace doing right now that the other 8 or 9 girls went through prior to them having their babies? It's the same thing.
Nothing.
Grace is in the same barn.
Other than the fact that Grace is shy and she's always been shy.
Yes.
Plus she's pregnant and she probably don't even know she's pregnant. She's a first timer. So she's the only first timer we have this year, right?
Yes.
Yes. So of course she's gonna have
Look what
different.
Harper did last year.
Yeah.
She jumped on top of her barrel and tried to jump.
Exactly.
You know, like
So Grace is doing this year what Harper did last year, and it's normal. But to be accused that these goats don't get any exercise, they're lonely. Oh my God, they're going to die of loneliness. They're not going to die of loneliness.
No.
You should let all the babies outside and run. If I let all the babies outside and run right now, half of them would die.
Yeah.
Like that would just happen. They would sneak through the fence. They would run into the woods. They'd never come back.
Like Tiger and Lily are small enough for a hawk to fly by and take them away.
Take them away.
Bye.
Yep.
Like,
so like
that's what we.
Yeah.
You know.
Plus, the moms haven't created enough of a bond with their babies yet to all go out together and not like, I don't know the word to use, talk about headbutting. The moms would be like,
it's too soon.
It's too soon.
And they're all still recovering.
You're right.
I got all the moms that have had babies so far are still clearing out. Like
what clearing out means is stuff is oozing out the back end.
Well, just like after we have babies, us girls, okay?
Yeah.
It's not like you have a baby and then everything is pretty down there. Okay?
Yeah.
It takes a moment.
Yeah.
So it's still not pretty down there for them. And we've got some gooiness. And that can only invite predators. So no. Anyway, I really do want
All right, so I'm going to put this up here for everybody.
Yeah.
Super chat. That's because the village is mutastic.
Yes, they are mutastic. So thank you guys for listening to us. You guys are just as awesome. Like I'm reading all of the support you guys are giving us in chat, but you guys are equally amazing. And we're equally thankful and grateful to have you guys as part of our village. So with that said, if you haven't been here before, and I do want to thank everybody who did a super chat because that was unexpected and you guys are all way too good to us. If you haven't been here before, you throw up just like Debbie Z did here.
She triples question mark.
Yeah, she did. She wanted to get seen.
That was good.
She threw a red question mark in the beginning and at the end, and also in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, she had a follow-up.
She has 2 questions. She has a double
and
question.
that can be found by either doing a semicolon or is it a colon?
You think I know? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much around here.
You claim to know a lot.
No, I don't. I claim to know
Anyway,
nothing.
you can either search it in the emoji section by typing in question in the emoji area, or you can use like a colon and then write the word question and it'll just pop up and you click it. With so many questions coming in,
We're gonna try to get.
we're going to try to get to some.
So
of
go ahead
them.
and answer that one.
Okay. So how are Greta's babies doing, and have they gained more weight? So that's going to be kind of the topic of tonight, right? With
Yes.
Greta's babies, that was
Yes,
quite.
they are tiny.
They are so little.
Still tiny. We took a picture. Actually,
It didn't.
you keep talking. I'll see if I can get it. On the
It
screen.
didn't really. You couldn't get the depth of difference, right? We took a picture of Gunther next to Lily, and they are drastically different, but you couldn't tell it in the photograph. But yeah, so Lily and Tiger have each gained, the last time we weighed them, they had each gained 0.3 pounds on their own. And that was on like the second day of them nursing and getting up, and you didn't have to
no more sleeping in the barn.
them. And yeah, so after I think yesterday was the last day we weighed them, we found that we're not going to weigh them anymore. They're doing great. They are eating. They're coming out of the barrel. They're playing. They're nursing with mom. They're doing everything they need to be doing to grow. So now it's just a matter of them growing, which they're doing all on their own. So, yeah.
You'll have to snag a question from up there while I'm trying to do this for you.
So I'm going to then skip because I have only a certain amount of chats that I can see. And so your question may have been asked. I'm going to be going in chronological order.
Well, I'll scroll back and see if I can get to some older ones in a minute.
Okay.
We have 2 more pregnant moms. 2 pregnant goats.
Pregnant moms,
Yeah, somebody asked. That was a
Typo
quick, easy
Queen
question.
asked, will we get to see Grace have her babies? Will we get to watch Grace and her babies after she has them? Yeah, so
Yes,
we
of
just
course.
needed a moment. We're absolutely gonna put the camera back on Grace. That's goes without saying. Although I appreciate the question because I'm sure there's some people who are kind of concerned, like, oh no. The few are not gonna ruin it for everybody. So we just needed to shut down, have this conversation.
Based on the husband-wife conversation in the kitchen, I almost pulled all 3 and canceled Q&A. I'm like, look, I'll just shut them all down and cancel Q&A if you need a moment.
No.
She's like, no, just go turn off Grace's cam. I need to breathe. Like
that's the thing is I needed to have this conversation with the village.
Right.
That's it.
Yep.
And now we can resume
so
normalcy.
So this goes back to my YouTube education, right? Like I know a vlogger that did 365 days in a row of a video every day. And one of the things I learned from him was that it's a toll. It's ridiculous. You're recording every day, you're editing, you're posting, recording, editing, posting every single day, 365 days. And he goes, and the one rule him and his wife made was they had like Mountain Dew, like a code word. That if you say that word, I will get on the plane, I will come home, and we're done with the 365 days. Like, enough's enough.
Yeah.
We have that, but it's like, it's like, when do you pull I was telling somebody the other day, I was like, we could shut down the whole live cam for like a week in the summer and just call it vacation. And we're like, oh my God, what would the village do? Like if we shut, that was the conversation we had. Like,
I had anxiety for the village.
You did. She was like, I don't think I could do that.
I can't do it.
Yeah. That's what she said. She goes, I don't think I'd want a whole week. Like it was just, that's it. That's where I was going.
Yeah.
Like there is that like, okay, when is it time to pull the plug for
Tina EW, first of all, I thought Tina had lost her wrench, and then I realized it was a different Tina E. She has a Tina EW. No. She goes, I fell asleep with Grace next to me earlier.
Oh.
We fall asleep to our goats every night.
Somebody fell asleep with a goat, and then it I think went into labor, and it like yelled, and that's what woke them up. Of the
I think it was you.
No, it was not me. No.
Yeah.
No.
No. Like they woke up to you.
Oh, they might have.
Oh no, they woke up to me going, "Don't touch the baby."
Yeah.
That was like that's a shirt. Don't touch the baby.
Right. That is a good one. So I got it. Here, I'll go with this question real quick because it just popped up in front of me. Do you ever take vacations? No. Mm-hmm. Not really. Mm-hmm. No, it's logistically difficult.
And I have trust issues.
And she has trust issues when it comes to I can't get that word to go away.
I have trust issues with and I have fantastic, capable friends that can watch the goats. But y'all saw when we went to go see Sue up in Rochester in November.
Yeah.
It's not until my feet leave the farm that Poppy decided to have
Right.
diarrhea, and it gave Kevin a heart attack.
Yeah.
You know, literally he was having nightmares about Poppy and her diarrhea situation. So it's like, it's inevitable. It's gonna happen. I leave the farm, somebody gets sick. It's like, just whose turn is it? Usually
Right.
Poppy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite color?
Here's a question for you.
What's your favorite color?
I don't really green, maybe ish.
Yeah,
green?
I heart draft just wanted to know.
Silver. I don't know.
Silver?
Gray. Like if I was to buy a car, I'd probably go that silver. Like my car out
okay.
there, it's that
Yeah.
silver gray colors.
Mhm.
Those are good. Obviously, you know I wear a lot of fancy colors around here. You know, black and
Is
gray.
dinge a color?
Dinge. It's dinge.
Because that's what you wear.
Yeah, this is driving me crazy. Oh, I can't handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a good one. Have these kids.
Okay, so has these kids been put on Ritalin?
Yeah.
You would think, right?
Yeah.
I mean, those babies are bouncing off the freaking wall.
And those babies are Corey and Damon and Corey, who
yeah.
are coming here tomorrow to
They're
see
coming
them.
to see them, yeah.
The radio personality people, which I'll have to ask them in the driveway. Like, you guys are like, you know, on the air like every day. Do you want me to kill the audio and like the cameras?
Now, are they bringing families too, or is it just them?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay.
We'll find out when they get here.
All right.
But
Well,
that's up to them whether they kill cams or not. Because I don't know if I can. I
oh,
don't know
freak.
if I don't know if I can let Damon on in.
Yeah,
in the
he's
bar.
a loose
He's
cannon.
You guys saw him in chat last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tinder for goats. Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no.
I don't know if you had another question, but I did.
Oh, there's lots of questions.
Would you consider? Okay, I'm gonna put it up there.
Okay.
It's been considered.
Oh, man.
It's been
She's gonna
considered,
ruin my surprise.
and we're thinking of something. That's where we'll leave it.
I have a plan,
We have a plan.
but you'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, here you can go with this one. Do you remove the horns on the babies yourselves? Yes, but we don't remove them. We do a process called disbudding. There's a difference between disbudding and dehorning. Big difference.
Dehorning is barbaric.
Yes, exactly.
And some people think that disbudding is barbaric. And listen, to each their own, right?
Yeah.
We practice what
Right.
we are comfortable doing, and then there's other farms who practice what they're comfortable doing.
Right. And you can.
And I'm not going to tell anybody that their way of practicing is wrong. Just like I would appreciate, you know, people not telling me that the way I practice is wrong.
Right. So I tried to put an analogy in chat when chat was getting a little crazy the other day. The dehorning, disbudding, all that stuff. And correct me if my analogy was correct.
Sure.
Disbudding.
Uh-huh.
Burn the end of your finger where the nail comes off, and you basically don't grow any more fingernails, right? That
Right.
can happen in about 30 seconds, right? That's disbudding. Dehorning, cut the end of your finger off. Kind of. I mean, you have to cut the horn out of their head. You have to use anesthesia
Yeah.
and put them under.
Yeah.
Cut the horn out, and now they have these big bandages. Yeah, dehorning, totally different.
So here's the thing with disbudding, okay? And I'll explain it for anybody who's new, anybody who doesn't understand what or why we disbud. We disbud when the babies are really young, so typically under about a week old.
Yeah, about that.
It depends on males and females. Males grow their horns in a little faster than the females. And why we do it, there's several reasons. One, first and foremost, we showed our goats, like our
used
kids.
to show.
Well,
yeah.
and you know
but
what?
they're still registered. That's the
Our
word.
little kids are thinking about showing
Yeah.
and doing the 4-H road, like our 2 older kids did. And we do place some of our goats in show homes. And with the American Dairy Goat Association, they do not allow dairy goats in the show ring with horns. It's just not permitted. It is a breed standard for them to not have horns. That's first and foremost. That's just going by the American Dairy Goat Association's regulations. Then we have issues that pop up with safety concerns between the 2 goats, whether, you know, there's one goat with horns, one without horns, right? And that's not a good combination. Even if they both had horns, there could be extra damage done just based on the fact that they have horns when they're headbutting, when they're playing, when they're, at the hay feeder. And then we have issues with their horns getting stuck in places they shouldn't be getting stuck in. And that can result literally in death. So we've had it happen in a goat that we've had here. He was disbudded as a baby, but he grew in skurs, which is like pieces of your.
It's like a small horn.
Yeah, it's small horn, but it still grew, and it grew long enough where he got stuck in the fence and he strangled himself to death. And that is the absolute last thing I want for any of our goats. And that is something that, we take the disbudding process very serious. It's literally like the worst. My least favorite day on the farm.
I counted yesterday. I was done with one of the goats. So we do one side first. So say I had 8 goats yesterday. Every goat gets the right side done. That way, by the time I get back around to that first goat, it's been almost a half an hour. And now it doesn't take a half an hour. It literally took me 4 seconds to get the bud off of one of the goats.
So our process is you disbud. 24 seconds later, you hand the baby to me. I have a bag of ice. I am literally holding the baby in
that's on your phone.
And the bag of ice.
Let me have your phone while you're talking.
On their head. Yeah. So it's and Laura says it's still cruel and inhumane, causes brain damage in some. Nasty. Okay. So we're gonna go there.
Yep. So go there.
So yeah, sure. That's your personal preference. And I'm sure, if you're making that comment, you must have goats.
So wait a second. So that
Hold
means
on, not done.
Okay.
And if you have goats, which I really don't think you do, coming home to a dead goat in a fence is equally cruel and horrific and traumatizing to your kids who actually were the ones to find that goat. So no, it's not barbaric. It's actually
required by the American Dairy Goat
I already
Association.
said that.
Yeah. Okay.
Also,
I wasn't sure if she heard it.
Also, we have numbing spray that we use. It's done in less than 24 seconds.
Yeah.
It's iced. And if you had been watching, we put the babies back in with their mom, and the second their feet hit the ground, their tails are wagging and they nurse and they play. So yeah. Okay. But
neutering and like docking tails.
Right. In the sheep world, people dock the sheep's tail all the time.
Cruel
and that's not even done under anesthesia. That's just done.
By the way, that's his face right after the cruel and inhumane act was done.
I think your face is in more pain than his face.
He's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So we'll move on. Next topic.
Now, I am not going to ignore the fact that done wrong.
Oh, completely.
Okay, so I get it.
Yes. Watch it on YouTube. There are people out there disbudding completely wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we know everything. However, we've been trained by other goat farmers, and I've watched hundreds of YouTube videos. There are some people that disbud completely wrong. They're like, oh my God.
And it is barbaric. I feel like the way that they do it is
and she's correct.
It's too
brain
aggressive.
Damage could happen.
That's what
if done wrong.
That's what I mean.
Right. Yeah.
I'm superstitious, so I'm not going to be like, in
the
7 years we've been doing this, we've never blah blah blah.
Right.
I'm not going to say that because that's just I feel like that's putting it out to the goat gods that something's going to go wrong. But I'm telling you right now, done right. Yeah. And just I'll never win this conversation with somebody who already has their mind made up. So
and doesn't own goats.
We're just going to move on.
Yep. So, question. How long do the babies stay in milk before they start eating hay or grain?
Mm-hmm.
Also, is there
a rainy theme?
So how long do they stay in milk?
Stay on milk. The babies. So the babies are on milk for a solid 12 weeks. I don't place babies in homes before that 12-week mark. So they get a solid 3 months of milk, which is about a month longer than most other farmers do it, even with puppies. They usually go home at around 8 weeks old. And we decided that that extra month just sets them up for, there's a lot of things that goats learn between that 8-week and 12-week mark. And it's not just a nutritional reason that we keep them on mom's milk for an extra month, but it's also just behaviorally learning how to be a goat. There's a lot that happens.
And they start eating more hay and all that.
Yeah,
around
so they
those
actually
couple weeks.
start eating hay at about 2 weeks. And they'll start chewing cud, which they're ruminants. They're small ruminants. So they'll start eating the hay. It kickstarts the next chamber of their rumens to start ruminating, and then they bring up their cud.
Right. Yeah. So this is a funny question. How long do you see, from Carol, listener, and how long do you see yourselves doing all of this? We love you and thank you for all of it. 20
Depends
years.
on who you ask. 20 more years or 20 years total, because I feel like this might be a running 20 years. Every time he's asked, he's like, oh, it's 20 years. He started getting asked that 5 years ago, though.
I did. I said, so I came up with a 20-year plan at one point because in 20 years, and it's probably sooner now, to your point, it's more like 15 years, there'll be no kids at home anymore. At least you would think.
Well, one can hope.
Oh, God. Yeah.
I want them all to be able to move out and be successful young people.
Young adults and move on with their lives. But then it's like, okay, now we're aging. The kids are all gone.
You're aging. I'm timeless.
Oh, yes. And then at what point can I not jump the fence anymore? And like all that. We're getting there. I'm like almost there already. So, yeah, we've always, I've said, like, is there a retirement lifestyle? And I'll never retire. I'll always continue to move and do something. But is there a home in our future 20 years from now, 15 years from now, that might not be a farm like this? Or is it here and it goes like, hey, we got to get the herd a little smaller. We're getting older. You know, we did the soap lotion thing for 20 years. We had a great run. We put a little money away. Like, that would be awesome that we can say in 15, 20 years, we did so well for those 15, 20 years that we don't need to do it anymore, and maybe pass it on to another generation. But we've always had that idea. That 15, 20 year window is like, if you think of it as a 20-inning baseball game, we're at the national anthem right now, and we're going to go for a good long time.
If you think about it,
that's the goal.
We've only been doing this full time for 10 months.
Yeah.
And I have to say, it's been quite an 8 months period or 10 month period. It's been wild. In mostly good way, but a lot of stresses. I mean, you guys know COVID kicks everybody down, right? So, it's been a ride. What were you talking about? Because
they said
I feel like and I've told you this before, if it's ever our plan to not have goats, not have a farm, not have like animals, then all that money that you think you will have saved will be going into therapy bills. Yeah. Like, this is my sanity.
Right. No, and
and I know he's tried to negotiate with me. Well, how many Frenchies do you need to be happy? I'm like, that's not the point.
I get it. But there'll be some point
I'm hoping
where
that
I'm not willing to do everything we do every day, all day long, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, well,
or want to start a new chapter. I don't know.
That way, that's where, we grow enough where we hire the younger kids to do all of that stuff. You know, and I think we should invest in some FEMA trailers with gates.
Oh yeah.
So we don't have to climb over. This year's the first year I feel like. No, we did it last year too, where all the girls actually gave birth in those FEMA stalls. We have to do it differently next year, where they give birth in stalls 1 through 4, and then they move. Them and their babies move to the FEMA trailer so that we're not climbing over
for another birth
for a delivery.
Yeah, maybe that might work. This is a good question, actually, from Carol again.
Okay, I'm only going to ask one question tonight.
Carol, ask as many as you want. Sorry.
Yes. To let new people ask, but when AJ was born, he wanted to milk right away, and you said you had to strip Rainy first. Can you explain to a city girl? That's actually a really good question.
I don't think that's ever been asked.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever explained what stripping means.
By the way, I'd love to live in the city, but only when I say city, I mean like New York City or like Boston for like a month. That's it. Like I couldn't handle it for much
You'd
longer.
have to be that would have to be like your getaway because I'm not coming.
She wouldn't go.
I'm not coming.
No.
Okay, so stripping the teeth. When the mom starts developing her udder at the end of her pregnancy, she creates this like wax, thicker buildup that clogs the teeth. And that is to help bacteria from getting in. And after she has the baby, you squeeze just a little bit of the colostrum out to get the milk flowing because the baby would never be able to suck hard enough to get that out. Like I could barely squeeze Moose out because she had such a long, I call it wax. It's really not wax. It's just like a super, super thick, like, not a good word, but wad of milk.
Yeah. It's like dried.
It's like a string of milk, actually. Yep. And it's really waxy and creamy and greasy almost. It's super high in fat. So you strip it out, it gets the colostrum flowing, and then the baby can nurse.
Now, don't get me wrong. She said the baby will never be able to suck that out on their own. The baby can suck that out on their own.
Not Moose.
But
there was no chance.
That's why deer in the wild have like a 30% death rate.
Yeah.
The moms have the babies, and the babies don't survive because of the little things like couldn't nurse, got too cold, breech presentation.
Yeah.
Like there's all that. You do any research with your local wildlife vet, they'll tell you like what they're seeing in the woods for birth rate and this and that.
Yeah.
Obviously in our barn it's different. You got so much human interaction that we're here. If anything is not textbook, like Greta just spitting it out when she coughed.
It farts out a baby.
And somebody asked, don't you wish they all were that easy? No, because that was way too tiny.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. You don't want them to fall out that easy, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh, Rosemary.
This is
for AJ Jerry Ari James' baby brother.
Oh, look at that. I'll get to
you.
that. Thank you in a minute. Look, this one with Harper, when it's her turn, what will you do with Gia? By the time Harper's ready, some of the FEMA trailers will be down.
Yeah.
And some of the moms and their babies will all be together because she's later. So we'll play like musical gates and stuff. It'll all start.
Yeah. So some of the older goats will come into Gen Pop and the FEMA trailers with the younger or tiny goats, because that's going to be a question. I'm sure somebody's had it already. That Tiger and Lily, how long are they going to need to be in a stall for?
A while.
And that's going to be quite a while until they're big enough, strong enough. They're strong, really just big enough that they can kind of.
They got to be able to hang with Moo's babies. Like they got to all be able to play together.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're going to need probably an extra.
I think they're going to need an extra week or two.
Yeah. And while you're on that topic,
to preempt some of the questions as far as like, well, will Greta be able to go outside during the day and get outside? The answer to that is no, and she's not going to want to. I mean, I'll show you how that'll go down just to prove a point. But if I take Greta away from her babies, the babies are going to cry. She's going to cry. It's going to sound like they're being tortured because they are.
Yeah.
Greta wants to be with her babies, and the babies want to be with her. So, Greta's not going to be going outside alone.
Right. Do you know why they were so small?
No.
No, we don't.
I have no idea.
They're all on the same. The whole herd was on the same feeding regimen, the same quality hay, the same grain, the same everything. And you guys watch. A lot of you have been watching for a long time. I don't remember Greta being at the lowest end of the totem pole and not being able to eat like for the whole gestation. No. So we don't know.
No.
Yeah.
My wheels are turning though.
Yeah.
Because I start thinking back, and this is where note taking in breeding is so important. I bred Greta to Giovanni the first year, and she had Uno. The reason we called him Uno was because he was supposed to be a twin. On the ultrasound, it showed twins, and he came out by himself, so we called him Uno. But he was small, and I don't know how small. I do know if I looked in my notes, I could tell you how small he was. But I remember him being small. And then the next year, so last year, she got herself, not last breeding season, but the breeding season before that, she got herself knocked up by Thunder, who was a baby Alpine from that year's kidding season. And he sexually matured early, let's say. And in August, when the goats aren't supposed to be coming into heat, she came into heat and he knocked up Greta. So we had an early January baby and twins, and they were great sized kids. I had no issues with them. And then this year, this has been her third breeding season. And now we've got Tiger and Lily, who were 3.5 and almost 4.5 pounds. And I have to start to wonder if maybe Greta and Giovanni breeding is not a good fit. So I need to talk things over with Dr. Kara and see what she thinks. And yeah.
It's weird.
It just might not be a good thing. We did not need powdered colostrum for Greta. She actually, I guess, wasn't self-nursing because she had a wax plug and a ton of colostrum for those babies, which I'm very thankful for, considering Lily and Tiger needed a lot of colostrum. So
I think I just lost a whole bunch of questions, but that's okay. I see a whole bunch here. I have to weed through. Some people are just putting like, thank you, you guys are cool, we love watching, blah, 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 but they're still using question marks on the front and the back, so it stops me in chat. I read it, and I'm like, oh, that's not a question.
So there was a question a couple people have had is, how do you pronounce Amy's babies' names? So we pronounce Naya, Naya, and Nala.
That's a good question.
Yeah, so...
Well, no. Question I'm going to put up, but it goes along the line with exactly what you're saying. Can you get a new picture of Amy's babies, because they're the only ones we can't see? Thank you. Yeah, we could probably do something. Maybe
get some new pictures.
Throw one up on Facebook or something.
Yeah.
I've
been bad about taking any other pictures other than like their bow tie and headband pictures.
Yeah. Yes, this is actually kind of funny. Aaron, did you feel weird knowing people were watching you sleeping in the barn? Yes, I actually did feel a little strange the first night.
Little big brothers.
And then I was like, just because I noticed kind of where I was sleeping, it was behind all those fences, and it wasn't as. One time, though, I did wake up. I got hot, and I had to take my sweatshirt off.
Oh.
But I'm still wearing my coveralls, the whole one-piece coveralls.
Like stripping.
Right? Well, I don't know about that. I took my hat off, my gloves, my sweatshirt. I was so sweaty. And then I had the sleeping bag. But then like 2 hours later, I woke up and the sleeping bag wasn't on me anymore. I was like, forgot I was still wearing the coveralls. Yeah. But it was just creepy. It was a little weird. Yeah. I was like, whoa. I didn't want the blankets to come off, but no, it was kind
somebody asked in chat, somebody asked me, Liz, how does it feel knowing that your husband was sleeping with 400 plus women?
So it was actually funny because I was like, after the first night, I was like, do I got to go back and sleep in the barn again? And she's like, maybe. I'm like, fine, I'm just going to sleep with all my friends. I'm just going to head out there. Mm-hmm. And I'm like under the blanket. They're like, Aaron's watching us chat. And I'm like, yep. I'm here. I see you, right? Mm-hmm. And then I pass out and can't find my phone in the hay. Yeah, that happened.
Apparently got peed on too.
I did get peed on once. I got stepped on. Yeah. No. Wow. Supposedly the babies climbed on me. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a couple pictures on Facebook.
They
posted them on the Simon Says Farms live page.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it was of the peeing incident, apparently.
Oh. Mm-hmm. All right, this might be a question. I'm just going to pop it up on the screen, let you read it.
Okay. If you breed Moo and Gus, is it possible for a solid black to be thrown? Maybe a dumb question, because look at Gus.
Oh.
No questions or dumb
Well.
questions. I'll tell you that. He always leads all of his questions
I
with,
do,
I
so.
have a silly question. It's not a silly question. Just ask your question. You're already prefacing it. Like, I'm going to think less of your question just based on how you started
Yeah.
asking it. I don't think there's any such thing as a dumb question, because like everybody starts somewhere, right? Like I was a newbie at one point,
Yep.
you know, and I remember those days, and I had so many questions, and I'm so grateful that Dr. Kara was so patient with me. And even now I'm like, hello, hysterical goat mom here again. What do I do? Like it's the fact that you ask questions
is a good thing.
Is a smart thing.
Answer the question.
Sorry. Yeah, no, anything's possible.
Anything. That was it. That whole long thing. Anything's fun. I could have answered that question for you. All right, fine.
Well,
We're
look
going
what
on
happened
this
to
one.
Genevieve and Giovanni's the same color as Genevieve, and yet they threw out a moo baby. How?
Okay,
It hurts my brain. Okay, go ahead.
how old were Wendy, Lucy, Charlotte, and Sadie when we got them?
They were all babies.
Oh yeah,
So
you're
they
right.
were
We
like
got them at
a
like
week or two old.
right, and then
Maybe.
we had to bottle raise them. Yep.
Yeah.
This is
Actually, there's a cute video. It used to be set to the music Girls Just Want to Have Fun, but then YouTube copyrighted it. But it's of them like bouncing around what used to be our goat barn, which is now our hay shed. One of the places we store hay for the boys. It's super cute though. You can see Lucy bouncing all over and that side hopping down the. Okay, moving on. Do you know who you're keeping yet? As of right now, the only one I know we're keeping for sure is Gus. It's the only one I know of. I don't want to make him twitch too much in 1 week. Yeah, see? Hashtag keep Gus.
That's why I put it up there.
Yeah.
I think we answered this already, possibly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we did. Will we get to see Grace have her babies? Yeah. And will we get to watch
Definitely
Grace?
will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just had to have this conversation first.
Yeah.
The earlier conversation, the first half an hour of Q&A tonight.
Yeah. What is Aaron's favorite color? Oh, we already went there. I think I'm starting to see some repeat questions because we are so far behind. Where are you going to put Harper? We already talked about that. Oh, here's one.
Jody. Oh, go ahead. Oh, okay. This is actually a really good question from Rita. Did Jenny forget that Gia is her baby? No. Gia's going through a tough time right now. It's called growing up. And her mom has a new baby. And she needs to be focused on him. And she needs to learn how to stand on her own. Yeah. So as heartbreaking as it looks, it is. I look at the camera and I'm like, oh, it's nature.
So the birds kick them out of the nest.
Yep. And the deer end up pushing their babies out so that they can
go off for breeding season.
Yep. Focus on the next generation. And it's Mother Nature at its cruelest. But I will say, Jenny will let her back in. Yeah. Genevieve has Greta, Harper, and Gia in the barn now with Gus. But she's done this, Genevieve. She's had to kick all of the daughters to the side when the next one comes. And once they're together, you'll actually see that they raise their babies together as a little family unit. The Toggenbergs do the same thing. We've got a bunch of mothers and daughters there as well, and aunties. Yeah. And when they come together, they raise their babies
Doesn't
together.
The village call it the Tog Puddle or something like that? Like you get a whole bunch of them. Like
the Cuddle Puddle is what we call it. And Sadie somehow goes and steals everybody's baby and sleeps with them. Yeah. Yeah. Even though she's not really related to anybody else in the barn.
So here's one. And unfortunately, I don't have access to the super chats right now. They fell off my screen. They only stay up for a certain amount of time, and I couldn't show it to you. But on the back end of YouTube, we can look.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I really do appreciate all the super chats because it's so on days or weeks like we've had this week, it's always nice to see that like we have your support. Like,
and even for the non-super chatter people, the fact that there's still 680 people here And we started
And
it off with a
nobody's
venting session.
and nobody's giving birth. Like I feel like
Yeah.
everybody shows up when people giving, goats are giving birth, and I'm not giving birth. You're not giving birth.
Oh, I am
Stella's
so
definitely
giving
not.
birth.
So it's like so many people are here.
Right, Stella, how are you doing over there? You're very. You're not good on. You're not good on camera today. Yeah,
She's
there.
tired.
Yeah.
So Stella, for those of you who are new, Stella had a back injury. It'll
About a
be
month ago.
7 weeks tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's been given permission to finally start running around outside. She's been in a crate. Well, not really. She's been in a stroller for the last 7 weeks and only really allowed to touch the ground if she was going potty.
We'll get to this question in a minute.
But now she's allowed to run around, so you can see her in the barn. I just posted an Instagram picture on her Instagram page of her sleeping in the hay, like literally in the hay. Okay.
Do you chip, tattoo, or label your goats?
Yeah, so we tattoo them. I have not. If Quinn and Libby really want to show, they're gonna have to pick goats to show, because I'm pretty sure all of the goats' tattoos have fallen out.
Right.
That happens from time to time. You tattoo. It's not like
it wears off. The tattoo wears
human
off.
tattoos, right? So it's not permanent. I mean, it's supposed to be, but it never is. And the ink gets pushed out by their skin, and then you have to redo it. But yeah, in order to show, and in order for them to be registered with ADGA, which is the American Dairy Goat Association, they have to have a tattoo, one in the right ear, one in the left ear. One of them is our registered farm tattoo, and the other one is whatever the year they were born. ADGA assigns a letter every year so that say it's the letter L. It's not this year, but say it is. That would represent the year 2021. So any baby, any goat years down the line who has an L in their ear,
they would know what
you know that, oh, you were born in 2021.
Yeah.
Because,
But we only tattoo them if they're going to a show, or if somebody requests that's purchasing.
Or if they're going to a show home.
Show home registered. Right. Okay. What is the importance of giving the molasses water for the mom after birth?
That's something that we just do. It's not like a necessary thing, but it's something that we like to do, kind of as like a sign of appreciation to like all your hard work. You pushed out a baby, now here's a treat. It really does serve a purpose, though, in that it goes and replenishes some of their energy levels and sugars. Yeah. And it just feels nice because it's warm.
Right.
It's like having that hot cup of tea or cocoa from being out, or, like a shot of vodka after having a baby. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Any chance you're keeping AJ too? I would say no.
No, I'd really love for him to go.
Too many weathered boys.
I'd really love for him to go to a breeding home, because he comes from great bloodlines and he's beautiful. So, AJ, Rainy's baby.
I thought I just heard a phone ringing.
Okay.
Yeah. I answered Rachel's question already. The how long do they stay in milk question. I already answered that. Do you take vacations? No. I'm trying. Tell me if you see one up there.
Kelly asked, "Are you guys veterinary trained?" No.
No.
We are
street
real
trained.
world trained, but I do have a great vet that I consult with, and I've learned a lot from her over the last. We calculated it almost a decade. I mean, it's if we round up, more like 7 years. Yeah, she's fantastic, and I'm appreciative to her, because anytime something needs to be done, she doesn't just tell me what to do. She teaches me and why we're doing it, and what medications are we using when this happens. And yeah.
When will Danica and Charlotte and Evelyn come back to Cassie's Castle?
I don't know.
Good question.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's a short answer, because I really don't know.
Yeah.
Not anytime soon.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much.
And the goats in House of Pie, all those just mentioned, are doing perfectly fine. Yeah. Yeah, this is a funny one. which we can't say whether she has or not. That'd be like doctor-patient confidentiality.
right.
But that's funny.
That is funny.
We know she wants a farm. That we do know.
Yeah.
How long does a goat pregnancy last?
Goats are pregnant for 150 days. They are officially full term once they hit 145 days, and then it's normal for them to go about 5 days overdue. One of the reasons we had to induce Rainy, and to be honest, we've never had to induce a goat before. We were really close to having to induce Amy one year because she likes to go late, as do most of our Toggenburgs. But Amy specifically, which was a surprise this year because she didn't go over like at all. She was 151 or 152 days when she gave birth. She's usually like 157 and she drives me crazy.
Yeah.
But that's her normal. It was not normal for Rainy to do what she did this year. She was only hours away from being 158 days pregnant. And some of these right here, these grays, she's part of this cluster. So yeah, we had to induce her this year, but that's only because, like I said, she was nearly 8 days overdue. So that was the first time for us, and it was quite a learning curve because I'm like, I gave her the shot, and I'm like, okay, now what? Are we having babies tonight? Like, how fast does this work?
No.
And I text Dr. Kara the next morning when I felt Rainy's ligaments, and I'm like, it's not working. She goes, Liz, you give her the shot. 24 hours later, you give her a shot. 24 hours after that, she has babies. And I'm like, you didn't tell me this was a 36-hour process.
Well, you give it to her 24, you give her another one 20. It's 48 hours.
Well, yeah, essentially.
It's essentially 48. I got an easy little question here. What is the breed with the ones with the little ears?
With the little ears.
Manchas.
Good job. You
The
got to
Manchas.
answer.
I got to answer a question all by myself.
Look at you.
Yeah. I'm going to scroll back down. I tried to scroll back and get somebody's questions that we were missing.
Tomorrow's Pie's birthday because it's 3.14.
Yeah.
And Susan asked, is Pie going to get peppermints for his birthday?
Oh, maybe he will. Yeah, Stella. I know. Yeah. Here, Stella, help them out. What'd you
I'm
say?
skipping. But Sarah asked, do you have anything planned for when you hit 20,000 subscribers?
As of right now, no. No, I don't.
Why you gotta rain on everybody's parade?
I don't. She might.
We've talked about this.
We have talked about it.
Yes, which means we have plans.
Well, yeah, we'll probably throw a party with the village. You know,
Wow, he makes it sound so.
Maybe.
I'll plan it. Keys.
let her plan it. I'm building a store. You plan the party.
Oh, I just realized this store is going to be.
Yeah. What?
I didn't realize how much work it was.
Oh. Yeah. You didn't realize how much work it was?
I didn't
It's like
realize.
building a small house.
No, I did. I'm not talking about the building process.
Yeah.
I'm talking about what comes after that. I have been immersed in the building process.
Yeah.
So much so that I forgot, hey, once the building is complete, I need product.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, then there's that. You can't have a store without product in it.
Yeah.
I just realized, everybody bought everything.
Well, they didn't buy everything.
Not everything.
No. It's just we're like, okay, now we have to stock the website and the store. And yes, it can kind of be the same inventory, but not really.
Yeah.
So it's just, we got a lot of making to do.
Yeah. Yes.
Including
I have a whole production schedule now, and I text Angie. I was like, "You free every day this week? Because we're never gonna be ready if we don't start making stuff."
How do you come up with names for your baby goats? Usually, it's just the time of day, what's going on, what's the weather, what's the atmosphere,
What inspired me?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Or what happens leading up to their birth. Sometimes it's a history thing. Sometimes it's, like, yeah.
I got you on.
Oh, no. He's starting.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you retiring, Rainy and Greta?
That says returning.
Oh, returning. I got a feeling they said we're not returning.
Anybody.
There's no return
No
policy
take-backsies.
on any of this.
Retiring, no.
Yeah.
At this point, Rainy actually, other than needing to be induced, that was a find
No.
delivery.
Very good question coming up.
Okay.
And I
well,
saw
let's
that
cover
from the
this
UK.
one.
Go ahead. That's fine. Keep going.
Yeah, so like I was saying, other than Rainy just being overdue, that doesn't put her at having issues for the next year. Now, if it starts to become like this chronic thing, it's not like you're one and done, right?
Yeah.
There is sort of a strike system that we use here. One time is kind of a coincidence. 2 times in a matter of a couple of years, over the course of several years is not also like if you have normal deliveries in between. We chalk it up to like natural birth is natural birth, and it's not always going to go textbook. But like Danica had 3 complicated deliveries over the course of 5 years, and no, that was done.
She was done.
Yeah.
Right. So
somebody asked too, like, well, like, what do you do with the goats when they are retired?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, we have House of Pie.
Yeah, the House of Pie. They live in luxury. They get food and water, and they have a living room out in the front.
They do.
Right.
Made out of wood.
Yeah, made out of wood.
This is
And a
where we aren't like other dairy farms. Other dairy farms would cull their herd if they're not productive anymore. And cull means one of 2 things. They either sell the doe and they remove her from the herd because they sold her, or they remove her from the herd because they butchered her. Right. And we do not believe that is no. Now, that doesn't mean we don't have goats for sale still. We still have some from last year that are still here that can go to a new home if somebody was interested. Well, that's because they that was their purpose. Like, they are pet wethers.
Yeah.
I do not need more pets here. Right. We do ask our goats to produce. But we're also very smart with knowing when they're not capable of doing that anymore. And it's okay.
Right.
Poppy had 1 baby.
Yeah.
And we retired her as a 2-year-old. She's done. She's still here. She lives in House of Pie. She is my problem child. She got sick during her pregnancy and never recovered. But these are my girls. And even if I have to retire Giovanni eventually, because he's getting up there too. If I have to retire Giovanni, I have my plan. He's not going anywhere. Yeah. I believe very strongly. These are my goats have a purpose here. They are producing, right? But I owe it to them to make sure that even though you're done producing, it doesn't mean that you're done having a purpose on this farm.
Right.
That's my personal belief. And that's why we have multiple barns, so that we can have our mom barn, all our pregnant moms and their babies. But then we also have the retired and grow up barn over on the other side.
Yeah. No? Got it. Can you answer this question up here, please? See it right here.
Oh, do the moms still... She's calling me out. Do the moms still love you after promising them a peppermint after birth, but not giving it to them? Yeah, no, I suck.
And thank you for the super chat. I can't remember her name.
Kaylee.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes. And we do ship to the UK. Somebody asked, that was a quick question I could throw up there, answer quickly.
Yeah. Yes. No, I'm terrible. And actually, I think, somebody can call me out on this too. I used grain this year as a negotiation tactic. And I said, you give me grain, or you give me babies, I give you grain. Or you give me babies and I give you second cut hay. I don't recall
peppermints
using the peppermints this year. Although they all deserve lots of peppermints.
Yeah. How do you tattoo a La Mancha?
In their tail.
Yep. Under the tail.
Under the tail, they have 2 webbings. You do the left webbing and the right webbing. Yep. Really, at this point, none of our La Manchas have tattoos anymore. The tail webbing, it really they fall out.
Yeah,
even
and that
worse than
goes
the
back
ears.
to somebody else said the same thing. What if they have no ears? Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's how you do it.
That's a common question I had actually when I
Yeah.
first heard that you had to tattoo the goats till they so they could go to the fair, to the show. And I was like, well, wait a second. We're doing ears. That's great for Toggenburgs and the Alpines, but what about the poor little? I am not getting in this little
Yeah,
crevice.
no.
Yeah.
I guess Happy Mother's Day in UK.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize it was
And
so
then
early.
answer that first part. of
Is
that question.
Nala named after the Lion King Nala? Not necessarily.
No.
Not necessarily. I wanted two names that were similar, and I was set on Nea. I was going to use Nea for Moo. Nea that name was inspired by Nevaeh, who was born last year. One of Moo's triplets that she had last year, and she passed away a couple hours after she was born due to a virus that her mother contracted during pregnancy. I wanted to use that name for Moo's triplets this year, or twins that she eventually just had the twins.
Yeah.
And it just didn't fit because Gunter came out looking like a Gunter.
He came out looking like, yeah.
So we used Nea with Amy this year.
So if you retire your La Mancha buck, you know a replacement Gus. No, Gus is not a replacement for
No.
our La Mancha.
Yeah. So Gus cannot take over for Giovanni. If something, God forbid, happened with Giovanni and he either needed to be weathered or he sadly passed away, we would have to find another option for Genevieve and her daughters, because Gus is full siblings and the son to that family line of La Manchas.
Right.
So we don't mix the bloodlines that much. That'd be no.
You can't do that.
Mm-mm.
No.
Oh, Janine did say you promised Rainy peppermints after her tough delivery. So okay, my bad. I will make sure that they get them.
Yeah. How many goats is too many goats?
Depends on who you ask.
Exactly. Her answer would be totally different than my answer.
Yeah, his is like 5.
Yeah.
And mine is not 5.
And mine is not 5. Are there any baby? We answered that question already. Are there any?
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Excuse me, sorry.
No, no.
Oh, good, I'm passing it.
rubbed off.
You started it.
Oh my gosh, no. I
You
didn't.
started.
All right.
Rewind
Another
the
one.
tape.
At what
You
age
did.
do you stop breeding?
Mm-hmm.
And that depends on the
That's-
mom too.
That's not going to be like a black and white answer, right? So there's a lot of different factors that go into whether or not I'm going to
Oh, good.
continue what
Another good question
Oh.
I found.
whether or not I'm going to continue breeding them. It really goes off of, well, how did they do in their last couple of deliveries, in their pregnancies? Did they pregnant well? Did they summer well? Like, did they nurse their baby well? Were they able to tolerate the heat? Were they able to keep the worms at bay? Were they able to just keep the weight on? Danica, for example, was great. She was a great mom. Her last pregnancy, her uterus tilted and we couldn't get the babies out without a lot of maneuvering. And we almost lost Danny. Well, I feel like we almost lost Danny. It turns out she had a little uterine tear that was able to clot itself, thankfully, because we weren't going to be able to fix that without surgery. So we ended up retiring her right then and there after she gave us Grace and Evelyn.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Poppy, who, like I was just talking about, we retired her after her first pregnancy. So it's not kind of a cookie cutter answer there.
Yeah, it's tough.
There's a lot of factors that go into whether or not we breed another year. And each year is you kind of get reevaluated. We reevaluate every single doe right before breeding season starts in the fall. And there's a checklist. And I think the moderators, we made a video about what we check for.
Yeah.
It's
prepping
like
for, I can't
like
remember the title.
5 or 6 things that we check them for.
Before
So we
breeding.
go over all of that.
Here's a question about the umbilical cord.
Mm-hmm.
How long before the babies lose their umbilical cord?
Yeah. I don't know the specific answer. I just know like it shrivels up and then one day it's not there. So like rubs off as they're jumping or playing, and kind of like how a newborn baby's would. It just kind of falls off one day and you're just like, oh, well, and it's not there. It can't be more than 2 weeks. Like I'd have to go back. Some of their cords too. It's not like in the hospital where, the doctor measures and says, Dad, you cut here and you cut there. And like the umbilical cord is pretty much the same length. When the babies come out, their umbilical cords rip naturally. Or tear naturally. So sometimes you get a baby that's got an umbilical cord like this long. We've had to trim an umbilical cord one time because it was just too long.
Yep.
And then other times the baby's umbilical cord tears like right up by their like little belly buttons. So there's not much hanging down. Apparently Lucy's hollering for dinner.
Yeah, they
I hope
probably
that
all
doesn't-
are. I'm trying to.
I hope that doesn't mean that like if she's hollering, does that mean that like something's wrong?
No, you got 700 people probably watching, Lucy.
No, they're all watching this.
Dual screen. They've
This is
taught
true.
me. Oh, Aaron, we watch all 3 of your cameras and giraffes at the same time. I'm like, oh, you make it sound so easy. Yeah. Where can I find a fuzzy pillow and a blanket like yours? Yeah.
Oh,
The
TJ
pillow.
Maxx.
The pillow is TJ Maxx, not sponsored.
Oh, and this blanket is
Also not sponsored
Also
and
not-
should be.
well,
They still haven't returned my call.
I love their blankets though.
I can't remember the name.
It's
of it.
called Minky Couture.
There you go.
Yeah, they're like I would say a small business out in Utah that like
Exploded.
made it big. Yeah.
Yeah, they made it.
But I love their blankets. I have
Right.
them all over the house.
I mean, even Stella likes it.
Oh my
she's
gosh.
like,
we could have a commercial right here.
she's like, there we go. You should tell them we sent you, even though it won't do anything for us.
No.
Yeah. But Stella likes it. Yep. Somebody already answered that.
Aaron,
Yes.
have you fallen in love with any of the babies this
No.
kitty season?
No.
You are heartless.
you
Oh
ne-
my god.
You never.
Oh,
answered that
Chris
one
West's
either.
question. With Greta's babies, who has the white leg? That would be Lily. Lily, Tiger doesn't have any white on him whatsoever. He looks, I hate to say it, but he looks just like Jack when he was born. Solid, same color, everything.
Happens to be the same person, but she's correct.
Yes.
They're not livestock. They're our family. Yeah, that's
And-
pretty much true.
And we get a lot of crap from people
Yeah.
because we refer to them as family and not livestock.
Right.
Including, I feel like, our vet sometimes. She's like, Liz, why do you have so many weathers?
Yeah. Why? Yeah. Why do you have
Like,
so many retired? Do you-
why?
Yeah.
Why? And I'm like, because I brought them into this world, I fell in love with them, and now they're here to stay.
Yeah.
I can't help it. Apparently, I need like Goats Anonymous or
She
something.
does. That is very true.
You stop it.
Yeah.
If I had another Frenchie, you would tell me how to do Frenchie's Anonymous too.
Is there any possible way you can give AJ to Angie?
No, she doesn't
No.
have the room.
No. I think she's already thinking about one, possibly.
she
but
is.
I don't know.
4-2.
So,
This is the problem.
Yep.
Mhm.
You can't, just like on the bag of potato chips, you can't eat just one.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, there is this. What happened to the page bio for each goat and pics? We have it.
It's
It
there.
just doesn't have all the goats.
No, it's there. So, okay,
Yeah.
it has not been updated in at least a year, if
Yeah.
not 2 years.
Yeah, it doesn't have them all, but it's there. You have to go on our website, and under the top it says our story.
Yeah, it's a drop down
And
right
if you-
underneath.
And if you hold your mouse there, it'll say blog, and you go there, and it'll tell you about all the goats.
right.
Yeah. Was what? Oh, hang on. Was watching an older video. Do you still have / use the box for baby for disp? Yes, we do still have and use the box. It's the safest way, so nobody gets burned. The human or the goat doesn't get burned in the wrong spot. Plus, that box was donated to us. It's probably close to like 100 years old.
Yeah, it was a family
from an
heirloom.
old farmer. Yep. Yep. Here's a quick one for you.
Has Moo had the biggest babies the last 2 seasons? Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say it. I
So
think
far, she
Yeah.
broke her own record. Like Moo's such an overachiever.
so. Yeah. I don't know if you've already answered this, but we also didn't do night chores yet.
Right. So I have this morning's answer.
Yeah.
I mean, she's moving, but she's not moving. Like, I feel like her baby's baby. I think she's really only pregnant with 1. She's way too small to be pregnant with 2, and that gets me nervous, thinking like, oh my gosh, is something happening with Greta? Like the Greta situation all over again, where she's got 2 little babies.
Right.
But I think she's just pregnant with the 1. And she's 152 days today. Hey, baby.
152. What? You ready to do the barn? You're waiting for us?
Yeah, you were waiting so
I know.
patiently.
Now it's like past your bedtime.
It's okay.
Oh.
It's Sunday and it's daylight savings time.
Oh, we turn the clocks
Well, yeah. We forward. It's fine.
forward. Oh, so
It's
you're going
fine.
to lose an hour of sleep.
It's fine.
It's daylight savings. You're going to lose an hour of sleep, and we're going to keep you up
It's
late.
It's fine.
Um,
She's got to see her goats.
yeah. All right. No, Rob and Jenna don't want any baby goats. That was a quick one. Okay, fine. Rob doesn't. Jenna might. Okay, there you go. Yeah. Oh, it's Saturday. It's Saturday. I forgot. It's Saturday. So it's not even a school night.
Did
Are
she
you
say
still-
it was a school?
I said we're gonna keep her up late, thinking, yeah, that was a school night. You still lost your tooth, huh? It's still missing? Yeah.
Still missing?
It's still missing.
How's
Not growing yet though.
How's the other? That's because you ripped your tooth out. It
Yeah.
was like not even ready. How's the other side? No, it's squiggly, but not.
Do you have a favorite goat out there, Olivia?
Nana's goat.
Moomoo's goat? Moo has 2.
No, she said goats.
Oh, goats.
Yeah,
Got it.
that's Mina and Gunter,
Oh.
right? Yeah.
Oh, that's a good red circle, Allison. I like that one. Can't find the question mark, but that red circle definitely worked. Yeah.
Oh, we answered this a couple weeks ago. Maybe it was last week. Her question was: Is goat milk lotion is good for human skin? Is it okay for animals? I do not recommend
No.
putting it on animals.
The soap or the lotion, we don't recommend it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No. It's not been. No, it's an oil-based product. The lotion is, and oil and animals. Well, their pancreas doesn't like oil, and then soaps. I just don't know what pet soap pH is supposed to be.
Right.
And I don't want anybody's animal to like have a reaction. So no, I would not recommend it.
Here's one. A new product launch coming soon. Yeah. Serious question.
Okay. Can you guys figure out a way to bottle and package a baby goat energy? I would like to try it. I want to know what it feels like to jump for joy. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
Liquid joy.
Yeah. It could get like an energy drink, like a
Oh,
monster.
It's got to be better than that,
Instead of a monster, it'd be called like goat. Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Jumpy juice.
Jumpy Jude. Yeah.
There was a couple questions I saw, and they went by, and I missed them. Okay, Jody. She just asked. And I skipped a question. Do you have non-scented soaps? So we
Yes.
have. Yep, it's called Naked Goat, and
Yeah.
it has no fragrance in it. And we also have an unscented lotion and an unscented lip balm. So you get the whole Naked Goat experience.
Yep.
Another one, have you ever had any polled goats born on the farm? That was asked by Typo Queen. And the answer is no, none of our goats are polled. Most polled goats, and for those who don't know what polled means, it means that they're born without horn buds. Like they will never grow horns. We thought Aerie might have been because it took her months to grow in horns.
Yeah.
But she did eventually. So yeah, that's usually, pulled goats are usually specific to the Nigerian
Yeah.
dwarf breed.
So I saw this question here. It's not really a question. It's more of a statement. And I'm not even sure what social blade is. Never used it. Check your social blade. Something weird is going on. Your grade went from a B to a D. I'm failing there too. Isn't that just like high school? Yep. Even though your numbers are soaring, and it's really weird. Like, you might want to know. I'll take a look.
I don't even know what social blade is.
I think it's a system that like can keep an eye on your social media platforms and aggregate it all together and kind of give you a grade as to how you're doing.
So that's like for the farm, or is that for you personally?
I think it's YouTube.
So it's for the farm.
Yeah, for all of them. Yeah, we use not
That's
sponsored.
because,
but,
and this is where it goes back to, I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but you know when you have like one negative review on your website, there's usually like 10 other people who didn't leave a review.
Yeah.
But they love your product. Right. It's because the negative people will make sure they tell people like how they feel.
Oh yeah, negative person will definitely put it in there, and they'll tell all their friends. Positive person won't even put it in there, and they won't tell all their friends. They're like, "Oh, that stuff was great," but it doesn't go as far. It's normal.
Oh, it's for his account. Good, it's not us. It's just you. You said that the other day too. You were like, "Oh, I haven't Googled myself in a while. Maybe you should."
I might.
What did you do?
Well, maybe it is for me. Oh,
it's for his account. I just Googled.
Yeah.
Somebody Googled you.
Oh well. I did almost say that. I did say that yesterday.
Yeah, you did.
This one's for you.
Mm-hmm. No, this right here is a test, and I'm not willing to play.
Got it.
That's a 4-H question.
Yeah.
And I am not up on my 4-H terminology enough to play that game. And on dairy goats, you want the rear udder attachment to be firm, and the escutcheon to be what? That's a Jeopardy question.
She's having fun.
She's like going through the ADGA book, the score book. Next, she's going to ask me, how many points does a dairy goat get for leg structure?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, thank you.
You already read that poll one. Got it. Yeah. Unscented, you already went there.
Ooh. A bunch of questions actually. Hey, I have an essential oil called Joy and it works. Oh, okay. Didn't know that. Is there ever a time mama goats won't bond with their babies and another mom will feed it? That is a good question. One we've not had to encounter. Okay, so the only mom that ever rejected her baby was Ari last year. So Ari was rejected by Rainey because she knew something was really wrong with Ari.
Yeah.
We've never had a mom not had nothing was wrong with the baby, but she still rejected.
Yeah.
So I don't know what we would do. I know there's a way to graft a baby onto another mom, but it's got to be like they had babies within a day of each other, and you have to scent the mom's nose to the baby's butt to her current baby, and they have to have, everybody needs to smell alike. And they usually use like vanilla extract, I think is what Dr. Kara said.
Yeah, vanilla extract. That's what it was.
Yeah. So there's a way to do it. We just thankfully have never had to do it.
How did you come up with the names for Amy's babies?
I wanted to use the name Naya, and Nala was just a natural fit. It went.
Got it.
That was it.
What soap/lotion would you recommend for skin condition?
All of it.
Any of them. Goat milk in general.
Right.
Just because, and I'm going to go to the next question.
Yeah.
Is goat milk better than cow milk? It has a higher butter fat, so when it comes to the lopes and the the soaps and the lotions, well, bye.
She left.
Sorry, we'll be there in a minute. We gotta go. We gotta go soon. I'm trying
She's
to
like,
go.
I want to pet my goats.
Yeah.
So our recipe for the lotion and is all the same. So
Yeah.
the lotion that you get in the unscented is the same that you're gonna get in like Mulala or Lilac, other than the fragrance.
Right. We
There's
started.
no.
Sorry, I thought that was the end of that answer. Go ahead. There's no.
There's yeah. So that's that.
There's
That's
no.
what happens when.
There's no
I
paraffins. Are you going down that road?
Well, there's no paraffins. There's no crap in it, but there's no difference.
Right.
Other than there's no colorants and stuff like that. Things that people would be having reactions to.
Yeah.
We try to keep all of those things out of our products, and stay as natural as possible. As far as our soaps go, there is a little bit of a variation between our Simple Suds line of soap all the way through to our premium. The Artisan and the Simple Suds recipe is the same, and the premium Artisan line is the same, except we add just more additives to it, like your Tussa silk fiber and some of your clays. Like in our Dead Sea bar, we put Dead Sea clay in it, and rose clays in some of them. So we add extra things, sometimes colloidal oats and just different things.
4 goats. That's what we started with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Liz, I was going to get to you. How many goats do we start with? 4.
For
For a second there, I thought 5, but I was thinking, yeah.
no 4.
All right, here's one for you. You could take a look at that one while I look for the next one.
All the moms seem great, but I noticed Lucy seems a little standoffish with her babies. Is this her way? Okay. We have multiple varieties of types of moms, just like you would in like a mom's club.
Yeah.
Okay, this is like your ultimate mom's club. You've got the helicopter mom,
Amy.
You've got like your super protective mom, which is Genevieve, and even Greta's a little bit of a jealous mom.
Yeah.
And then you've got your inattentive moms.
Yeah.
Okay, the moms that just let their babies go, and they're like, "You'll be fine. They're fine. You've got them, right? I'm just gonna be over here."
Yeah.
Okay, that's Lucy.
That's Lucy.
Lucy is somewhat inattentive.
Yeah.
She has milk thieves every year, and a milk thief has been a term assigned to a baby who goes and steals milk from another mom.
Yeah.
She has milk thieves all the time because she's like over here in La La Land, and they're like, "Well, I'm hungry, and you've got milk, so I'm just going to take some."
She doesn't
You
even
won't.
turn around to look to see what baby's eating.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well, that other mom will, but Lucy doesn't. Lucy doesn't
Right.
turn around and be like, "Oh, you're feeding my baby? That's cool."
Yeah.
She doesn't care. She's like, whatever. But she has really fun kids every year.
So we're probably not going to get to all these questions. I know Olivia's waiting for us. So we're probably going to cut it short soon. And we still got to do the barn. And I'm tired.
Yeah.
Are you going to put boards up so the goats where they stick their head out to eat? Yes, that's coming soon.
Coming.
That's coming very soon. A couple of them are getting very close.
All right, we gotta take Gina's question because she apparently has asked her questions.
All right, we'll get to it. Here's a quick one. Aaron, how often do you need to rest the cameras? Depending on what technology. Some of them never. Oh, technically. And the other one, a lot. It can go for like 3-4 days, and then I got to reboot it.
Mm-hmm.
The new ones perform so much better than the olds. Soon to be upgraded to all new. Ginger? What? Hang on. I saw it. Where'd it go? Some white tea ginger question.
Ooh,
It jumped.
that's a soap that's coming out
Yeah.
in April. It's part of the tea collection. I don't know if that was.
I don't know what that was. I don't know.
Okay, well, while you're trying to find that question, which one of these kids got into Greta's stall? That was Corey.
Yeah. Do all the goats? Maybe it wasn't a gin. I don't know. Do all the goats get the same grain? Because I thought Aaron said Grace got different grain. Grace only gets different because and different feeding, not different grain. They all get the same grain.
No, they don't. That's fake news now.
Okay, listen.
Okay.
Can I say the whole thing?
Sure.
And then correct me if I'm
Okay.
wrong. They all get the same grain. We only buy one bag. The other ones get alpha as well. So it's a different feeding, not a different grain.
So they don't know that there's two different
That's what I
things
was
that
trying
go
to
in
educate.
their food.
Yeah.
So when the moms have their babies, they get their dairy grain and alfalfa.
Right.
And so Grace right now is still a pregnant mom, as is Harper, and they are receiving the pregnant mom rations of grain
Right.
in the morning, which consists of just grain, no alfalfa.
That's where I was getting a little more technical and splitting
Yeah.
into. Yeah. I'm late tonight.
Ginger was asking if it was coming out as a lotion as well.
There you go.
The white tea and ginger is only a soap scent.
Yeah.
Right now.
We did get an update. Tiger and Lily are gaining weight. Yes, they are.
Oh yeah, Tiger and Lily
Yeah.
are gaining weight. They're both up nearly a pound bigger than they were when they were born. Okay. Gina's question was, can we have a close up of Tiger and Lily after, I guess, during chores? That's not going to be a tonight thing, but
Yeah.
it's definitely going to be something that we do.
We'll do it eventually.
And I know, like, Wacky Wednesday is typically going to be kind of close up baby time right now.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, I mean, it's still going to be wacky because the babies play and jump and they're crazy. But usually we do like treats, peppermints, peanuts.
Depending on what time Grace has her babies.
Yeah.
Like if she has her babies in the middle of the day and the camera's already down, that's the problem now. We've got hard mounted cameras. We got to get the drill out and undrill them and all that. And then we have one camera that floats. The one camera that floats is the one that comes down to see the babies. It's already 8:00 and we've got children waiting for us. So I'm not taking that camera down to get close to the babies tonight. But when Grace has her baby, the camera will already be down. And obviously if we're not exhausted and it's the middle of the night,
Yeah.
I'll try to do some baby close-up stuff or something somewhere around then. We'll figure it out. It'll happen.
Yeah.
Even for non-members, all that, for everybody, it'll happen.
Yeah. Hold on, missed the question. Where did the question go?
What do you
Oh, there it is. Judy asked, was that Jenna's daughter with the ponytail at Rainey's birth? That was
No.
actually Bradley's girlfriend,
Yeah.
who is kind of part of our extended COVID crew that we hang out with. And,
Yeah.
Bradley brings her over. But she's allergic to everything.
Yeah.
Including the goats. So her face swells up, and she took a Benadryl before she came over last time, because the night before, or maybe it was 2 nights before, all her cheeks in here got all red and puffy, and yeah. Okay, let's see.
Yeah,
Oh, Carol Summers asked, are you going to be offering a men's only line in your soaps and lotions? So there are men friendly scents in our lotion. We did that years ago. We have men cologne type fragrances between the Fierce and the Tobacco and Bay Leaf, Kentish Rain.
Yeah, we still have a couple
We
left.
have a couple of those left. And as far as soaps go, there are some. Jake picked out Galaxy, which is a galaxy themed soap that has charcoal in it for the stinky teenagers. And he picked the fragrance, which is a very shower friendly, very clean fragrance. And then there's a lot of other men ones. Somebody asked in a live chat one time on our website what I would recommend for men fragrances. And really, Charcoal Obsession is very unisex.
Yeah.
It's a very nice.
Perry Happy one's very light. It's not like.
It's not too fruity.
Yeah.
No, actually, I
it's not
think
bad at
that's Kevin's favorite one. It's the
Yeah.
Perry Happy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think that's it. We got to go see if Olivia still wants to go out to the goat. She might have given up now.
I doubt it.
Yeah. Who knows?
I doubt it. She's been wanting to all day.
Yeah.
All right.
We're
Yeah.
gonna put this up here one more time.
Thank you very much.
And then before we go, I did find that picture we talked about earlier.
Which
The
one?
biggest goat of the season and the smallest goat
Okay,
of the
so this
season.
is not like
It's not a good
the
picture.
greatest. You can't really tell, but they
Yeah.
are saying that everybody's starting to yell for dinner.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay,
So am I.
So here's the picture
Actually, no, I ate dinner.
of Lily, who's the smallest goat in the barn.
Thank you for becoming a member,
Oh.
by the way. That's very nice.
This is a picture of Lily, who's the smallest goat in the barn, and Gunter, who's the biggest.
I don't think
And
you could see my mouse.
Please don't look at my face.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons we didn't post this photo. You were like, nope, that's not getting posted. But look at
Yeah.
the legs,
The leg difference.
the heads. I mean, that's a 3-pound baby and a 10, right?
3.5, I want to say.
And a 10 point something,
And a 10.2. Well, when this picture was taken, he was probably even bigger because
right? Because he's gaining 2.
he's gaining 2.
Yeah. but
Probably faster than she is.
Oh
so.
shoot! I forgot. I can't get the picture off the screen.
Okay.
There we go.
There's that.
We got it. There they see it.
Yeah.
Now they see the difference.
The camera, I know it says it adds 10 pounds,
Yeah.
but I swear you still can't see.
You can't tell in
She
that
is-
picture, right?
She is way smaller than you would
Think.
She
Yeah.
actually looks bigger on camera than she really is. Because I look at her and I'm like, oh, okay, she's little. And then I see her, I was like, oh, you little.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, she's very, very little.
Yeah.
So we're happy that she's doing so well. And Tiger.
Yeah, both of them.
They're both
Yeah.
doing really well. So
Yep. Very good.
all right.
Yeah.
So we are going.
Kelly found it. I saw her post
Okay.
something earlier saying I want to become a member,
Oh.
and I don't have all the links here.
Oh my god,
so-
I love Sylvia.
Yeah.
Wow,
So-
you look so thin in that picture, Liz.
Oh, let's put it back up then. Yeah.
Oh, I was wearing black. That's why. I should
Yeah.
stop wearing white. Is pretty much what
Yeah.
I'm taking away from that.
I do like your shirt though.
Oh, people thought this was a scam.
What?
This shirt, because it's on YouTube underneath
Yeah.
our cams.
No, it's real.
And people thought that Teespring,
No,
I get it. There's issues. I
no.
don't know.
Teespring's not a scam. Teespring is the only apparel which we creators, we YouTubers are upset about, but they're the only apparel company that links directly with YouTube and allows us to put it right under that tray. So if we don't design on Teespring, it won't go under that tray. So all our other clothing stuff that we do has to go on our website. However, we have no visibility into order numbers, tracking information, nothing.
Yeah.
It's all behind the scenes. They do that on purpose because the creator is supposed to create. You're not supposed to manage your team. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, but what if one of my followers places
Has
an
an issue
order
with their order.
and they have a question? We have no.
Where do I send them?
We don't know how it works, but all I do know is I ordered that sample and it was here in 5 days.
Yeah, which
It was
is a
here
big
quick.
improvement for our other.
And it's pretty good quality. I thought it was.
Yeah.
The t-shirt and the shirt. It's harder to from our end. It's harder to work with, but from their end, it's super easy. It fits right into
yeah.
YouTube. We can even
Excuse you.
pin it as a comment.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, now it's time to go.
Yeah. Sorry for the last 2 questions that came in.
What? How?
Tiger was born first.
Yep.
That was Patricia's question, and then Nicole asked, "Can we do colored shirts for
Yeah.
Teespring?"
So that goes back to the design part. I designed this one, and it was real nice. The words, the logo. Okay, I want it on a sweatshirt, a tank top, a this, a that, a lady's V-neck, a men's. Super easy. Now I want it in black with white letter. Oh, wait a second. You don't offer the option to just say also offer in black with white lettering? Yes.
Yeah.
And it inverts everything? No, you have to start over and redesign from the beginning.
This was really a test.
So it was a test. That's all it was. We did a black and white test, and there might be more to come
Maybe.
once she plays.
But the thing is we do have swag on our own website. So
right. Yeah.
we'll see.
We'll see.
All right. Apparently, it's now choir in the barn,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So now
They're
it's really
singing.
time to go.
and we might be upsetting Karen.
We could. Sorry, Karen. But not sorry. We're going to the bar. See you later.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you guys for joining us tonight.